Good stuff. Epcot's doing some good stuff now.
Absolutely.
They even have a statue of the man himself.
They do. Speaking of that statue, Nick Malio told me that statue, he was there a few weeks ago, and it was unattended. Now, I had said to you that I didn't think they were ever going to leave it unattended because of what people could do and post, do lewd things with him. But Nick
like you,
said
Toni-Ann?
he saw him unattended at one point.
Really?
Yeah. I think that to preserve his image, they shouldn't leave that statue unattended.
I agree. Because, you could do some stuff. Right, Toni-Ann?
Yeah, right.
Okay. We won't go there.
From the Crush Studio in sunny Florida, this is the Disney Crush Podcast. And now your two tempests in a teacup, Dave and Toni-Ann.
On this week's The Disney Crush Podcast, what's so great about Epcot? We continue our series, What's So Great About the Parks, with special guest Gina Simpson. It's her first time on the podcast, and we're really excited to get to know her a little better. Episode 354 of the Disney Crush Podcast starts right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Gina because today we're going to talk about Epcot, and we had a little back and forth before the show a couple days ago, and she said Epcot was like one of her favorites, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Gina and get to know her a little better. There is a little bit of news, Dave. Pass holder magnet, as predicted on last week's show, is going to be Timon and Pumbaa.
Toni-Ann, you know more than Google or Disney sometimes, I think.
Yeah, so it's going to be Timon and Pumbaa, like we said, and it's going to be, I think, August 14th. I actually have the dates here. August 14th to September 22nd at Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures in Dino Land in Animal Kingdom, which means that they're not going to be demolishing Dino Land for at least the next month because they're giving away magnets. Unless that's the joke on the pass holders. The pass holders come in and then they demolish.
Well, we might be able to get one because I think in September, we're going to hop over to see Kevin Curtis Allen.
Yes.
Our friend from the Isle of Wight.
Yes, and you know who's coming?
Rich.
Rich is coming.
Wow. I know, a second trip.
Yeah. So
it's great.
That's exciting. Just announced today, as we're recording, Standby Skipper is back. The app is back. We talked about last week the app being gone. They are back. I was able to get the app back on my phone. It looks like they are going to be doing same day fast passes. So you're still going to make your 3 ahead of time, but Standby Skipper is going to work for you at getting more after those. Once you start tapping, once you tap at your first, Standby Skipper is going to use its bot to try to get you more return time, more Lightning Lane entrances.
Well, the way if there's something that can keep you out of you looking at your phone all day long and let you enjoy the park, it's worth the money.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to spend that money on a hamburger or a drink. Right. So why not spend it on Standby Skipper? Let them do the work and you enjoy the park. So I'm glad they're back. Yeah. We had kind of had a feeling that they would probably come back, and they are. I saw that today. And this is what's the date today? Today's the
8th.
The date?
August
8th. August 8th, and they're back.
And I do, we have people that are going to be trying it for us. So we'll have a report soon. But I do also know, I have friends going this coming week. They had a long trip and they got on at the 7-day mark to try to make their lightning lanes. And they were unable to get Tiana for 9 days in the future. They had... Wow. They got on at the 7-day mark. They wanted to go to Magic Kingdom on their second day, and there was no Tiana 9 days ahead of time with a 9-day lead time.
Yeah. Well, there you go for Standby Skipper, though, because that bot can just keep working on it.
Hopefully,
you never know.
Right. Same day, they'll be able to get it.
Yeah. Because, people are going to cancel them. The people are testing the system out and just seeing what they can do. So
right. You might get a virtual queue and decide not to stick around. If your lightning lane is at nighttime that you got, and you get a virtual queue, you might dump that nighttime lightning lane. So
Right. There is another company, or not another company, but another company out there that does the same thing that Standby Skipper does. It's called VJ.
VJ.
Yeah. Veronica Youngward. She does the same
yes.
thing. She's my bot. She just,
she's your bot. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if I'm going to need Standby Skipper because I've got Veronica.
Well,
and she actually enjoys it. I'm not kidding. She actually
refreshing.
Does enjoy refreshing and trying to get something. I mean, she takes great pleasure in capturing something and helping people. If she sees somebody struggling, Veronica, she's the one that
she does.
She'll go over and try to help them and tell them what to do, how to do it.
So that's really all the news I have.
Disney stock took a big dump.
Yeah. Oh, it did. And I heard that they're concerned about the low domestic theme park visitors. Is that true? Is that what the report said?
That was, partly. I mean, I think there's a lot going on right now. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, we're talking, it could be back up right now. I don't know. It was yesterday or today. It was down. Was it yesterday? I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it could be back up again. Anyway.
We'll see. I did get a college program misconnection from our friend Scott. Our friend Scott's been hanging out on the college program groups, and he sent me this. Help a girl out. I was on the bus and the monorail with this cute guy from Flamingo with a blue hat that says, I think, surf style, and a blue backpack with T. Randall. Help me find him. He's cute, and I need a Disney husband. So...
what are we supposed to do? Can we do anything to help?
I don't know.
Can we put out there and there you go. I guess that's all we can do.
I hope she finds her college program, man.
I hope it works out.
Scott, thank you for all the college program insider info you're giving us.
Oh, he's getting some good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. All right.
And that was Missed Connections.
So, Dave, I see our guest is here. We have Gina Simpson from Alabama. This is her first time on the show. We're so excited to see her. We met her last year at TDC at the fireworks party.
Hey.
Gina, so we met you last year at TDC. It's really funny because did you know we were going to be at that same fireworks party as you? Because
absolutely not.
Oh,
absolutely
wow.
not. I just looked across that courtyard and said, you know what? I know those people.
Well, we were like behind me in line or in front of me, and you said, is this Michael? Like, you recognized Michael first. That happens a lot, actually.
Yes. And I recognized Kurt Stone. I think you guys had on some matching T-shirts or something.
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
T-shirts.
I'm sure we did. But Dave, let me just tell you, she was not shy about coming up to say hi to me, but is that Kurt Stone? And I was like, would you like to meet him?
Yes.
And I had to introduce. She wasn't shy about it. So I guess we're not that big a deal. Like Kurt.
Well, I don't know. I think
but it was
all a big deal.
Aw. It was really nice meeting you, and you're in the park a lot. I see on your Facebook. You how many how often do you go to the park?
We go about every 6 to 8 weeks.
Nice.
So we live near Birmingham, Alabama. So we are about a 1 hour flight from Birmingham. Mm-hmm. So we zip down as often as we can. Absolutely.
Oh, good for you. You don't drive. That's a good one because that's a good drive.
Oh goodness, no.
We
drove to Orlando one time.
Our friends, the Rhodes, they drive. They drive a lot. The Amy and Michael Rhodes drive. Gina, whenever we have somebody on for the first time, we always ask them their Disney story. Like, when did you start coming to Disney? Did you come as a kid or as an adult, or what keeps you coming back? What's your Disney story?
I am like a lot of people. My parents took me to Disney one time when I was a child, and it was in the 80s. So I was probably like 10, 12-ish. There was only Magic Kingdom, and I don't remember that much about it. And then I didn't go again until 2019 when I was retired from teaching. That was my retirement trip.
Wow.
And I booked a trip. I asked I told my husband, I had started listening to podcasts. And then I started listening to some Disney podcasts. And I said, I think we should go to Disney for my retirement trip. My husband is like the nicest person in the world. And he said, okay, well, let's go. So I booked the boardwalk and we went and we just fell in love with it. I mean, we were instantly hooked. And so we got home, or maybe even before we got home, we booked again for the next year for my 50th birthday. So we said, okay, so we'll go back. Well, my birthday is in June of 2020.
Oh, COVID.
So you know how that happened. So we didn't go for a couple of years. And in 2022, after everything started, I guess most things started coming back, I booked another trip. And I mean, we've just been going ever since. We bought DVC and then we bought DVC again. And we bought APs as soon as they came back on sale. So, and now we're just crazy Disney people.
Wonderful.
We just love it. We love everything about it. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And this is goes to show people that, you know, we talk about Disney for adults that, you know, you're going now as, you know, you just said you're in your 50s and you go all the time and you love it. You don't need to bring kids with you.
No, we have one son and he's an adult and he is not a Disney adult. He has no interest. He never wanted to go as a child.
Really?
He just never. We've been to Universal. Universal multiple times, Legoland, all the things, but Disney is not his thing.
Oh, well.
I got a son like that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So we specifically sent you some questions about Epcot. We've been doing a series on the parks. We had Jeff Apolka on to talk about Animal Kingdom. And now we're having you on to talk about what's so great about Epcot. Now, Epcot happens to be my favorite park, so I'm just letting you know. And when I asked you, you said Epcot and Magic Kingdom were your two?
Yes, Epcot is the reason we bought at Boardwalk. That's the reason we bought DVC at Boardwalk, because we want to be next to Epcot. My husband loves Epcot. It's his number one. Magic Kingdom, not even in the running. But yes, it is where we probably spend the most time.
Nice. So the first question right there is, did you always love Epcot or did you learn to appreciate it over time? So when you went in 2019, did you fall in love with it or?
Oh, absolutely. I knew I would because I told you I'm a retired teacher, but I didn't tell you I'm a retired science teacher.
Okay.
So Epcot, the new Epcot and the old Epcot were just, right up my alley. All the learning and all the edutainment is right up my alley. So I think Epcot it's just great. I just love everything about it.
Wonderful. Dave, did you always love Epcot or did you come to love it later?
No, I didn't. Actually, Epcot was last on my list.
Really?
When I first started going, I just didn't like it that much. Things have changed. Now it's a whole different park almost now. There's so much has changed in the last, 10 years, 15 years. But back then I really didn't like it. Only I think right before we started doing the podcast, I had a moment, if you will, in Epcot. And that's where I kind of started not falling in love with it, but I started to appreciate it more than I had in the past. And now it's starting to creep up on my list. So yeah, I do really appreciate Epcot now. Now there's just so much I like about it. How about you, Toni-Ann?
I remember going to Epcot when I was a kid. The second trip to Disney, the first trip we went to Disney was 1981. It wasn't open yet. They were building it. So the second time, I don't know what year it was. It was in the 90s. When I went, it was so different back then. Back then you used to go to a television monitor to make same day dining reservation. You couldn't make dining reservations in advance. You would rush to this kiosk where there were TV monitors and you would talk to people over the phone face to face like we do every day now on FaceTime. But it was so futuristic at that time. It was like the Jetsons, and they would make your dining reservations and oh, is there anything left in Japan? It was like a big deal. So yeah, that was exciting. I think Epcot was always one of my favorites, but I think more so now. I love it more now than ever.
They even have a statue of the man himself.
They do. Speaking of that statue, Nick Malio told me that statue, he was there a few weeks ago, and it was unattended. Now, I had said to you that I didn't think they were ever going to leave it unattended because of what people could do and post, do lewd things with him. But Nick
like you,
said he
Toni-Ann?
saw him unattended at one point.
Really?
Yeah. I just, I think that to preserve his image, they shouldn't leave that statue unattended.
I agree. Because, yeah, you could do some stuff. Right, Toni-Ann?
Yeah, right.
Okay. We won't go there. All
You got the
right.
next
So, Gina, what is a detail at Epcot that maybe some people might miss?
There are so many things in the World Showcase that it seems like every time we go, I discover something new in the World Showcase. And it wasn't until this year that I found out that you can go in the Stave Church in Norway.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Viking stuff in there. And I did not know that until recently. So I feel like that's something that everybody should do. That is so cool.
It really is.
I had no idea. I had no idea. I think most people just meet the princesses and get their Viking coffee and move right along. So that was a wonderful surprise to me.
Yeah, there's a whole display about the Norse gods, about Thor and Loki
Yes,
and Freya.
Their theory about how the world was created. And it was really neat. And there's some things in there that I read that have never been on display outside of Norway, except for in that church. So that's a really, really neat detail.
Besides naked Elsa, Toni-Ann,
Yes, David.
what say you? What do you think that maybe some people might miss?
The whole aquarium inside the Living Seas, it's really interesting how many people don't realize that's there. They just go and ride the Nemo ride, hit Turtle Talk with Crush, and rush out of that building. So if you don't know to go upstairs on the escalator and see them feeding the manatees and see the dolphins and see all the different programs and activities up there with the fish and the scuba divers, and you could scuba dive in that tank if you're a certified scuba diver. There's a tour, but I think the Living Seas is underappreciated by the passing guest. I think people don't realize how much is in that building. Spaceship Earth could fit inside that tank.
That's crazy.
That's how big it is. Yeah.
That's amazing. That is such a cool area too. I could spend hours in there just watching the fish and the turtles and everything. It's just so cool. Sharks. Everything.
Sharks, yeah.
So cool.
What about you, David? Is there a detail that you think people miss? I
even missed it. For a long time, we would just walk by Canada. I can't tell you for how many years. I don't know why we just never went in there. And then one year I'm like, let's just go up the stairs. Let's just see what's up there. Let's go to Canada. And there is an amazing waterfall back there.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's beautiful. And there's a quiet couple benches back there. And we just sat there for like an hour in amazement going, why had we not come back here before? And there's other places like that, like Morocco. Yeah. People just kind of walk in a little bit and then turn around and leave. But it's such a cool area back there. And Japan, even Japan, you think, well, Japan, you go right into Japan. And if you're looking at Japan as you're walking in, if you look to your left, there's a quick service up there to the left a little trail that goes up to it. And it's just beautiful with the plants and the fish. It's just amazing. So those little out of the way nook and crannies are the things that I think a lot of people might miss because they're in such a hurry to go to a ride or get something to eat and like us, we've done it before too. We used to do it and we've been finding, like Gina, she didn't know about that spot, over there in Norway. So you just find these spots after all these years of going and go, how did I miss that? Yeah.
Have you guys ever been back in the Morocco pavilion and gone into that area? There's a door and it's called Race Against the Sun. I didn't know that was back there until the pass holder lounge was there this spring. And there's this whole display in there. And like I said, it's called A Race Against the Sun. And it talks about these two races that happen in Morocco. One is a marathon, a 6-day marathon run across the desert. And then another one, and they have the gear that they wear. and it talks about what all they have to eat and drink to do the marathon. And then there's a rally car race, and it's females. It's called the Race of the Gazelles. And it's a female rally car race across the desert in Morocco. And I just sat there and read that, and I was like, I cannot believe that people do that. That's a really cool hidden
That
detail
is cool.
as well.
I've got to look for that,
Really
Dave.
neat.
All right, Gina, Dave's buying. What are you going to eat and drink on a perfect day at Epcot?
All right, Dave, here we go. Get your wallet out.
Be kind.
I don't know. Mostly what we eat in Epcot is just quick service snacks. We hardly ever do any table service in Epcot at all. And there's so many things that are, I love. Probably my favorite thing is, and because we enter the International Gateway, I will rope drop the French bakery every time and get the frosé there. I like that one. People talk about the one out, in the little booth out front.
The orange.
Yes, the orange slush. I don't care for that at all. The one in the bakery has peach schnapps in it, and that just makes it so much better. It is so good. And then I always have to get my Tipsy Ducks in Love at the Joy of Tea.
I love that too.
I know. I love that one so much. And maple, my husband would be mad if I didn't mention maple popcorn in Canada because that's his favorite. So, but if Dave's buying, I'm going to go to Le Cellier because I've never been.
There you go.
And I would like for Dave to pay for that for me.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Hey. Dave, yeah. I'm going to buy for you. Where are you eating on your perfect day at Epcot?
Oh, I think I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to go to Spice Road Table in Epcot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that I'm going to start with the mule. They have a great Moroccan mule there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to get some of that pomegranate chili crisp cauliflower.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it's so good. If you haven't, you've got to try it. And maybe some spicy chicken. And I've had some spicy shrimp there that I had never had because Auntie Judy we were there with her eating.
Mm-hmm.
And she had some and she said, does anybody want this shrimp? Because I'm not going to eat it. Nobody wants it? Because there was like 6 of us there.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to go to waste. I'll try, I'll take it. Judy, this is really good.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want it? She's like, no, I don't want the shrimp. I'm like, okay. But it was really good.
Yeah.
So, and I don't do dessert really too much. So since I'm not doing dessert, I'm just going to have another mule.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going also to the French bakery for breakfast, and I'm getting my baguette with good European butter, and I'm eating that thing for breakfast. Then I'm going to stop in Morocco and have my mint tea with gin, which is, can I get a refillable squeegee bottle of that? Because I could drink that all day. It's so refreshing. It's my favorite. And then we're probably, Dave, I'm going to have you take me, because there's no other way I'm probably going to go, to Takumite for the prefix $250 7-course Japanese meal.
You were doing good up until then, Toni-Ann. You were doing good.
I'll let you come with me, so it'll be
okay.
500.
Oh, okay. That won't hurt quite as bad. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, I love you. So whatever you want.
Okay, good.
You got it.
I'm worth it.
Okay, Gina, if you could only ride one ride at Epcot, that's it, just one ride, what's it going to be?
Okay, this is a tough one because there's 2. Guardians is my favorite ride.
Mm-hmm.
But if I just had to pick one, I think I would pick Soarin'. It is just classic Epcot. I love it. We ride it every time. And it's one that my husband can ride because he gets sick on all the rides.
Aw.
But he can do Soarin'. So I think that is absolutely, I love that ride. And I got to go, fortunately, during the time when they had Soarin' over California and experience that. So that was fun too.
So what did you think? Now, because you were a latecomer to Disney, so you had never seen Soarin' over California. For me, Soarin' over California is the OG, but for you, it's not. So
No,
what did you think of it?
I did not like it as much as Soarin' Around the World. And here's the only reason. The transitions were abrupt. You know how in Soarin' Around the World, they make the transitions seamless.
Right.
And it's after a splash or after you zoom in on something. And soaring over California, they would just change,
Yeah.
like you were clicking a button. Was it always that way?
Yeah. That's
the original version?
Soaring over California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like them both.
I have to agree with Gina because it is very abrupt, and soaring around the world doesn't bother me, but the California makes me a little woozy.
Do you know what's interesting? What's really funny? You know, with Michael, we hadn't seen Soaring Over California for years and years and years. I don't know how long it's been gone, but it had been years. And when that scene comes where you're like the cow poke and and then the jets come by, he knew. He covered his ears before they came. So he remembered that from when he was little, that those jets were coming, because he covered his ears before they came, because the loud noise bothers him. So he's amazing. The way the brain works is amazing that he remembers that stuff. But
yeah, but that one kind of made me feel a little sick when I wrote it.
Yeah.
It's weird. I like the world.
I'm going to be boring and predictable and just say I'm riding Guardians all day, every day. I think I finally got every song, so that's good. And I know I upset people because I tell them that I didn't think September was that great. I was waiting for September because September's the best song, and I got it, and I thought it slowed the ride down. Like I ran because it makes the ride seem really fast. And I like Everybody Wants to Rule the World because it's just a cool vibe. And it was also the first song we heard the first time we rode.
Yeah, Tears for Fears is awesome. Great band. That's my favorite. And that's going to be my pick too.
Yeah, Guardians. Do you have a favorite song?
Yeah, Tears for Fears. Tears for Fears. Yeah, yeah. I just think it's I want to almost like Gina. I almost said Soren just because I have some.
He's got some history.
I got some history with it, and it's just a great thing. But you got to have the right seat, and will come in my pro tips. But
yeah.
But I have to go with Guardians just because it's so amazing. It's just so incredibly amazing.
And I think if Michael were to answer that question, it would be Remy. He loves Remy's Ratatouille, but he also loves Frozen. He gets upset if we don't ride Frozen when we go. So so does Dave. He cries.
I do.
I wonder if Tears for Fears is still together. They need to come to Eat to the Beat.
I think they are. I think I saw a picture of them together.
Yeah. They're still together.
Well, somebody needs to get them to Epcot for a concert. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would
my
be cool.
gosh. I think they would probably, I don't know if,
that would be great.
That would be cool.
Yeah, they're an amazing band.
Did I tell you when I went with my sister for Mother's Day about her boyfriend and Spaceship Earth? Did I tell you the story?
I don't remember.
My sister, we were in the land, and I said, "Oh, our next return time, we had Genie Plus, is for Spaceship Earth." And she said, "I've never ridden Spaceship Earth." I'm like, "What do you mean you've never ridden Spaceship Earth?" She said, "John won't let me because he thinks it's like Space Mountain. He thinks it's a thrill ride." I'm like, "It's really not a thrill ride." I did tell you the story because I said it's narrated by Dame Judi Dench, and I got a message from Kevin saying, "Oh, I'm surprised you know who that is." Like, I don't know what he thinks I'm an uncultured, I don't know, American. Of course I know who Dame Judi Dench is. But anyway, yeah. So my sister got to ride Spaceship Earth for the first time. You know, she's over a certain age now. She's older than me. So but she's younger than you, Dave. So let's just put her in that bracket.
Everybody's younger than me. Well, with all this refurb going on, they should have refurbed that one. That's time. I mean, it's had a few refurbs already, but
they were gonna, when that was what I wanted to tell you. I'll tell you at the end of the show. There was some news that I forgot to mention.
There always is with you. You always remember something at the end of the show.
Yeah.
This should be a new segment.
The news Toni-Ann forgot.
Yeah. Something like that.
Gina, do you have any pro tips to make a day at Epcot better or easier? Any pro tips?
I have 2 pro tips, one for festival time and one for non-festival time.
Okay.
Number 1, if there's a festival going on, get the wristlet gift card.
Yes.
It makes it so much easier. I hate having to pull my wallet out or do a gift card. And I always just get that wristlet gift card and load that thing up.
Yeah.
And it also can help you keep on budget if you want to do that kind of thing. But
right. If people don't know what Gina's talking about, you can get at a lot of the festival booths, especially the ones outside, you can buy a gift card, but it's a small gift card on a bracelet, on a wristlet. And then you could just, when you go to the kiosk, you could just scan it. And I do that to budget myself. I'll say, I only want to spend $100 at the festival today, and I'll put $100 on it. And then I won't go over that. And if you're concerned, it's a regular gift card. You can use it outside of Epcot. So if you have money left on it, you can use it the next day at Hollywood or Magic or Disney Springs, wherever. It's a regular gift card. It's just small, and they scan it. They use a scanner to scan it. And and it is a good way to budget.
It's so convenient too. Yeah. And also make sure if you buy one of those that you go online immediately and register at mydisneygiftcard.com, because I have had the little card break off.
Oh no.
And it didn't have any. It was the end of the day. I had already used all the money, but but I always make sure I register my gift cards. Now, if it's not a festival time, and this is something that I just learned because I never go in the Odyssey building when it's not a festival, but the Odyssey building, and I think, Toni-Ann, I think you've mentioned this, but I didn't know they had food in there. During a non-festival time. You can just get it's generic food like a Mickey pretzel,
right?
But you can go in there and get something to eat and sit down in the air conditioning, and restrooms are available right in there. And during this time when it's so hot, that was wonderful to go in there and just sit down for a minute. And they have a seasonal cocktail, but I asked what it was, and the girl said, I don't know.
Oh gosh.
And she said, it's in a bottle. I don't know. So I said, okay, that's good. I'll just take a water. So they do have a cocktail in there, but nobody knows what it is.
Okay. Somebody knows what it is, but not that
Somebody,
girl.
But she did not know. So those are my tips.
Wonderful tips. Dave, do you have pro tips?
I think we should probably do a show. This makes me think that there's so many things that we could talk about. So we might want to revisit this one and do a whole show about pro tips.
Okay.
But I'm like, Gina, I'm going to do a couple. I talked about Soarin' a minute ago. So I'm going to say, if you go to Soarin', as you get ready to get in the little corrals there, I would ask to be set on C1 or B2. Those are, so that you don't get the whole Eiffel Tower bending and all the stuff like that. And much better. Let's see, what else? Oh, the music in Epcot. A lot of people, if you hear music, go to the music, because there's bands playing all over the place in Canada and elsewhere. And there are really good bands like who, Toni-Ann?
Command Performance.
Yes.
In England.
And the M80s.
Yeah.
A lot of good music there. And do not dismiss Eat to the Beat and American Gardens Theater. They have some great stuff there, some great bands play. A lot of people just dismiss it and don't think too much about it. Think it's maybe just, I don't know, a generic band or somebody just singing, but a lot of times it's a very talented acts there.
Yeah.
So don't miss out. If you hear music, go to the music.
You want my pro tip, Dave?
Yes. Give us your pro tip, Toni-Ann.
My pro tip is for getting around at the end of the day. If you're tired and you're not staying at Boardwalk or Beach Club, but you don't want to schlep all the way to the buses and you want to rest your legs, you can take the boat from the back of Epcot to Hollywood Studios and get your bus there. And that just gives you a break to rest your legs so that it's not as arduous a trek. What I typically do is I just go to the boardwalk and get an Uber or a Lyft back to my hotel. I'll do that a lot with my mom, because my mom is 90 and I don't want to make her schlep all the way to the front. So we'll just go to boardwalk and get a Lyft or an Uber. I typically ride the boat with her to the boardwalk because she, like I said, she's 90, but
especially this time of year.
Yeah.
In the heat.
Yeah. Use that back exit. It's also good for a midday break, is to go to those resorts back there, have lunch, or just get a drink at one of the lounges. the lounges open around 4. Finn's at the Dolphin opens at 3. But you can just go back there and take a load off. Some of those deluxe resorts have nice lobbies. The Dolphin lobby is my favorite hangout. But yeah, well, and the second floor of the Contemporary, but that's a whole different show. Yeah, there's places to get away if you want to get out of the park, and there's places in the park. We talked about the Living Seas and the back of Morocco and places like that. Another place in Canada is if you go where Canada Far and Wide is, the Circle Vision 360 show, the pre-show area is like an underground cave, and it's dark and cool. And sometimes when Michael's overheated, I'll just go down there with him and sit in and you don't have to go into the 360 show. Just like Tori said last week about the China, same thing. Mm-hmm. The pre-show area for that is pretty cool too.
And I'm going to throw one more in. I hate to, but because sometimes when we do this, it kind of backfires on us. If you enjoy ice cream,
yes,
go to Club Cool. You can have ice cream there. It's just vanilla, but it's probably some of the best soft serve ice cream you'll ever have.
It's really creamy.
It's so good.
It really is.
We found it by accident. We went in there one day just to kind of get a couple sips of Coke, whatever the drinks were. Her Beverly, Veronica's Beverly.
Veronica loves Beverly.
She does. I know. Ugh. And she said, "Oh, they have ice cream floats. I wonder if they'll just do ice cream. I'm going to go ask." They're like, "Yeah, sure. We'll give you, you can have a cup of ice cream." And it was really good.
Really good ice cream. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get floats there with all the different flavors?
Yeah, that's why they have ice cream. That's why they have ice cream, is because they do floats.
All the different flavors, like at the Coca-Cola rooftop bar at Disney Springs. We've done that little thing before. So I like the little Coca-Cola flight.
Toni-Ann.
Yes.
You just mentioned you forgot some news.
But I just realized that this show is going to come out after what happened. D23 is this weekend. Mm-hmm. And D23, typically, we even have done in the past viewing parties where we all sit around on the Friends of the Disney Crush and watch it together and react. And it's always Disneyland is getting some great new ride and land and nighttime parade and oh yeah, at Disney World, you're getting a new bathroom. that's
no way.
What D23 has been for the last couple of years. But this year, D23 is this weekend, but it's going to already happen when the show comes out. But the parks presentation isn't happening until Saturday night at 10 o'clock Eastern. It's 7 o'clock Pacific time. The convention is over there in California. So the big show, the big thing that we look forward to isn't happening until Saturday night at 10 o'clock. So I don't know if we're going to do a watch party at that late, but I'm expecting some big news, but by the time the show comes out, we'll know already. I'm sure they're going to tell us, well, I'm hoping they're going to tell us what's going to happen in Dino Land. They're going to talk more about Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. I hope. We'll see. I don't want to say anything because it's already going to have happened when this comes out, and you're all going to be laughing at me when we get no news except that we're getting a new meet and greet with, I don't know, somebody not popular.
I don't know. They're always saying things and telling you things they're going to do, and then they don't do them, and I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the D23 a couple years ago, we talked about this, but this was before COVID. Mm-hmm. We were told about the Mary Poppins ride. We were told about they were going to redo Spaceship Earth. And a lot of that stuff got, thrown to the wayside. But that also had to do with the pandemic. So,
true.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
So we're going to have a lot of news about Disney movies coming soon. We're going to have news about the parks. But all of that is going to happen before the show even comes out. So.
Yeah. As usual. It always does with us. Deadpool. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Really funny. Really good. And Wolverine. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much, Gina. Thank you again. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was wonderful.
So much fun.
And we can't wait. We want to see you in the parks again.
I know.
Without 75 other people.
Yes.
And Kurt Stone.
Yeah, we don't have to introduce her to Kurt Stone.
Actually, he's going to be there the next time I go to Disney, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
At the end of August, he's coming.
September. We're going. I think we're going the first week of September. So
Okay. Well,
again,
we might overlap. I don't know how many
maybe
days.
we will.
Okay,
Maybe we
cool.
will.
Well, I guess that's going to do it for this week's Disney Crush podcast. So until next week, we shall see you later. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I think that's it. All right.